Hi, students. We just finished our chapter 3 in Big Ideas. So, whoop whoop. We are starting chapter 4 next week. But before we hop into chapter 4 in Big Ideas, I want us to talk more about counting with fives and going over how to read a analog clock. But before we begin, let's work on how to write the date in number form. So yesterday was Thursday. So what is today? Today is going to be Friday. And then that means tomorrow we get to sleep in. So that's exciting. I'm going to fix my A. Let me see. Today is Friday. Now you need three things to write the number form with the date. You need the month, the day, and the year. So we just finished November, which is the 11th month of the year. So we're in a new month, and if we do 11 plus 1, because we gained one extra month, we are on month 12. So December is the 12th month of the year. So we are going to write the number 12. And then yesterday was the 3rd of December. So today we have one extra day. 3 plus 1 is 4. So today is December 4th, and then we are in the year of 2020. So people normally write the last two digits of the year, or you can write the full 4 digits. It does not matter. But we are in the year of 2020. But 12/4/2020 is the number form of the date for today. Okay, guys, now we have started working on counting through fives, and I'm pretty confident that all of you can count through fives to 100. So we're going to count 5 through to 200 today because I know we can do it. Okay, so let's start. You can count with me or just watch. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and 100, 105, 110, 115, 120, 125, 130, 130, got tongue-tied right there. So we were on 125, 130, and 135, and 140. Now we are going to pause on 140, so take a mental photo. We're on 140, so I'm going to clear this page, and then we're going to be on 145 next. 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, 180, 185, 190, and 195, 200, and we did it, whoop, whoop, 200. And basically counting fives through to 100, when you count through 100 through 200, it's like the same process of counting through fives through 100. You're just putting a 1 in the beginning of each number, but you notice like the last digits are the same as you would count through the ones, or through less than 100's place. But yeah, just the only difference is you're adding a 1, and then once you get to the 200s, you're just adding a 2, and then the 300s, you're adding a 3. So, but it's the same process. You start from 5, 10, 15, 20, and then so on and so forth. Okay, so we are going to work on the clock again. And how many numbers are in the clock? There are 12. So at the top, there's a 12, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is right down below the 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm sorry that Miss Schultz is not an artist, but yeah, you guys can see that it is a clock. So, and there's two hands in the clock. That's what people call them, but those are two hands. So there's this long hand, and then there's the short hand, and the short hand represents the hour. So I'm gonna put the shorthand, and I know it's kind of confusing. It's like, which number are you trying to point to, Miss Schultz? But in this case, we're going to say it's going to point to 1. So the little green arrow represents the hour. So I'm just going to put H for hour. And then the long hand represents the minutes. The minutes. I'm just going to put M for minutes. And when you noticed, the shorthand, the hours, when it points to a number, like say for an example, if it wasn't on this clock, if it was pointing to 1, what if it was pointing to 11? It's going to be 11 o'clock. It's going to be 11. It's going to be the 11th hour of something. But on the big hand, on the minutes, when it points to a number, for example, 6, it's going to be that multiple of 5. It's not going to be 6. So let's count the minutes of the clock. So on 12, that's normally 0. That's like the starting point. And then 1, it starts from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Yeah, that's a really bad 45. Let me fix that to make it more nicer. So we have 45, and then we have 50, and then 55. And then 12, it starts on 0 and ends on 60 because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So I know you guys have probably seen an alarm clock or a clock on your parents' phone where it has like the hour and the minutes. So it's like written like this. So we're going to say, for example, it was 3:15 on your parents' alarm clock, on your parents' cell phone, but it's 3:15. So let's try to figure out if we're trying to draw 3:15 on this clock. So I'm going to fix my clock right here. So the 3 represents the hours, and the hour represents the shorthand. So we're going to put the shorthand, and it's going to point to 3. So we know it's 3 o'clock. But then it's 3:15. If we look on our red, because that represents our minutes, because remember, the minutes are multiples of 5. So if we count from 1, 2, 3, and or 0, 5, 10, 15, it's going to be 3:15, which is also is going to point to the 3 on the clock. So the hours are going to be pointed to the 3, and the big hand is going to be pointed to the 3. So it's going to be 3:15. So they're both going to point to the 3. Yeah, let's try a different example. So we're going to pretend you went upstairs and you looked on your parents' alarm clock, and it says 7:05. Okay, so remember the 7 is the hour, or the first number is the hours, right? So where do you think the hours is going to be the small hand? So where do you think the small hand is going to be on this clock? If it's 7:05. The small hand is going to point to the 7 because when the time is written like this, this is the hours and then this is the minutes, like what I've written up here. I'm going to erase that to, okay. So the small hand is going to be pointing to the 7. So I'm going to draw the red hand for the small hand. Or sorry, I'm going to say green. But the small hand is going to be pointing to the 7. And where do you think the minutes hand is going to go if it's 05? It's not going to be pointing to the 5. It's going to be pointing to the 1 because 1 represents 5. Because remember, in the red, we count by 5s. So the big hand is going to go pointing to the 1. Now let's try one more example. This just to practice with. Yeah, erase all this. Okay. So we are going to look on the time again, and it is 10:40 on your parent's cell phone or your cell phone or on your Nintendo DS. It has the time. So we're going to say on the analog clock, where is the 10 going to go? The hours are the first one, so the hours is the small hand. So the small hand is going to point to the 10. So the small hand is going to point to the 10. And then the big hand is going to point to the 40. And which one is 40? If we count 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we are going to be pointing the big hand, the minutes, to the 8. So it is 10:40. Yeah, my clock is really bad. But if I'm gonna send out a worksheet on Class Dojo for you guys to practice the time. And if you guys are still confused about it, I'm happy to meet with you during my office hours just to get extra practice with you guys. But yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll catch you guys next time.